Have you ever stopped to think about what you'll leave behind? And I'm not talking about money or property, but a real, lasting legacy. Well, today, we're going to dive into some incredible Filipino wisdom that tackles that exact question. It's all drawn from Paalala Ni Lolo, which means grandfather's reminders, and it's basically a guide to building a life that really truly matters.
And that brings us to the big one, the question we all have to face sooner or later. When it's all said and done, what is your story going to be? What are people going to remember you for?
So, what even is a legacy? Is it about being famous, or having a ton of money, or pulling off some grand achievement? You know, the wisdom in this book suggests it's something way, way deeper, and it actually starts in a place that's very familiar to all of us.
This quote right here gets to the absolute heart of it. We tend to think that a legacy is something you build out there, on a public stage. But this wisdom says nope, it's forged right at home. It all begins in those small, quiet, everyday moments where our character is really put to the test.
And here's the real secret. Greatness isn't some random lightning strike. It's built, piece by piece, through the small, consistent choices we make every single day. It's about who you are when you think nobody's watching. That's what really counts.
Okay, so how are we supposed to navigate all this? Well, the book gives us a kind of guide, something it calls the grandparent's compass. Think of it as a set of timeless reminders passed down for generations to help us find our way.
And this compass is built on three main pillars that guide pretty much every decision. First up, you've got integrity. That's your foundation of trust. Then comes responsibility, which is all about owning your actions. And finally, gratitude, having the humility to remember where you came from.
So let's start with integrity. In the Philippines, this is perfectly captured by the phrase palabra de honor, or word of honor. Now, this is so much more than just telling the truth. It means your word is everything. It's a direct reflection of who you are. A promise isn't just words, it's a piece of your character.
And that powerful idea of your word being your bond flows right into our second pillar, responsibility, or pananagutan. This isn't just about getting a job done. It's a much deeper feeling of duty. This understanding that our choices create ripples and being willing to own every single one of those consequences, good or bad.
And the final pillar that holds it all together is gratitude. It's captured in this beautiful saying, huwag kalimutan ang pinanggalingan. Don't forget where you came from. It's just a powerful, simple reminder to stay humble, to honor the community that lifted you up, and to always, always remember the people who helped you get where you are.
Okay, these ideas sound great in theory, right? But what do they actually look like in the real world? Let's get into some amazing stories of Filipinos who really lived these values.
First, take the story of José Rizal. He was a government official who became famous for his chinelas leadership. Chinelas are just simple flip-flops, but by wearing them, he was sending a message every single day. He was showing everyone, I'm not above you, I am one of you. It became this powerful symbol of his humility and his rock-solid integrity.
Robredo's life really was a testament to this idea. You know, as the saying goes, leadership that lacks integrity is just tyranny. But leadership that's built on integrity, well, that's true service.
Next up, let's talk about responsibility, that deep sense of pananagutan. And honestly, there's probably no more powerful modern example than the overseas Filipino worker, or the OFW. We're talking about millions of parents working in faraway countries, making these huge sacrifices for their families back home.
Their story is just a living, breathing lesson in pananagutan. I mean, think about it. They put up with loneliness, with all kinds of hardship, and they're driven by this one single thing, giving their kids a better future. That sacrifice isn't just an obligation. It's this profound act of love and responsibility.
And finally, let's look at gratitude in action. Efren Peña, who was named a CNN Hero of the Year, was incredibly grateful for the education he received, but he didn't just stop at being thankful. He took action. He saw that street kids couldn't get to school, so you know what he did? He brought the school to them with his Kuritan classroom, a classroom on a pushcart.
And his whole approach just perfectly captures this brilliant piece of Filipino wisdom. Daig ng maagap ang masipag. It means the proactive person will always surpass the one who is just hardworking. See, Peña wasn't just diligent. He was proactive. He saw a need and created the solution. That's the ultimate way to show gratitude, by paying it forward.
Okay, these stories are absolutely inspiring. But the real challenge is figuring out how to apply these lessons to our own lives. So,
How can we actually start building our own legacy, starting today?
Well, first, it helps to understand what we're up against. It's so easy to compromise our values, isn't it? Usually it's because of greed or fear or just taking the easy way out. But when you look at it this way, the choice becomes pretty clear. The path of convenience is all short-term, but the principle-driven path, the one that values honor and trust, that's what builds something that lasts.
So what can you actually do? It really boils down to 3 simple but incredibly powerful actions. First, keep your word, even in the small things. Live that palabra de honor. Second, own your actions, all of them. That's pananagutan. And third, give back. Never, ever forget where you came from. It's that simple and that profound.
You see, at the end of the day, your legacy isn't some monumental build for you in the future. It's being written right now in the choices you make every single day. So the question is, how will you be remembered?